Hello, hello everyone. I am Steve and welcome to another Mac84 live stream. How is everybody doing? My goodness, we have quite a few people here already as things fall off my desk. We have Bruce of Brankus Creations and Starbuck Tech, of course. It's all Bruce's fault. I decided to stream. He saw me on Trina's stream and said, Steve, that classic needs to be recapped now. And I said, well, okay. No. Anyone who was coming from Trina's stream, hello, make sure you subscribe to Trina's Technobabble and you'll get notified of when she does streams. Okay, so who else is here? We have Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Shack. We also have Sad Mac356. We have Adam. We have Retro Techie, that dastardly devil. We also have TomTom Computing. William D. Pretty Rider is here. Lucas is here. Cinematic Tech is here. Turv Rudin is here. I hope I spelled that. Well, it's spelled correctly. I don't know if I said that correctly. Nick Lopez is here. And Electrical Outlet is here. Excellent. Okay, subscribe to Retro Techie or I'll demote him as a mod. Okay, so some business to attend to first, because I want to talk about a few things. Let me get what I want to talk about ready. Why isn't this? Oh, that's not good. Hold, please. That's not it. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, so hi. So it's been a little bit since I last streamed, and I just want to talk about a few things that are going on. First off, you may have seen on Twitter I had a mouse cam, as Jay would say, and it's still running up in the attic, but yeah, I haven't seen anything. Thought I heard something just before I came down for this stream, but I'm not broadcasting it because the window gets very glitchy. This camera's from like 2006 or 2007. And what happens is after it streams for a while, you start to get this weird strobing effect. And I didn't want to subject any of my viewers to that. So anyway, that was the mouse cam. Did not see anything, unfortunately. Would be nice to know where those mice are. But yeah. Anywho, recap the camera. I don't think it's that. I think it's just a very old camera, and I think that it is what it is. However, there's another stream going on. I think we all sort of caught the streaming bug here, and I take full credit for this. This is Bruce's cam, so he calls it his chook cam. This is slang for chicken in Australia, I guess, or some nickname that Bruce came up with because it's Bruce. But he has a little camera on his backyard chickens, and they're adorable, and they just keep clucking around, and every once in a while you see a very angry man come in and just throw birdseed down and go no. So Bruce's channel, Bruce, you could put it in the chat there. He has only 6 subscribers. Got to get those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. It's going to be a long time till he is at 30k on his second channel, but those chooks, I'm probably saying that terribly, but Bruce could say it and it just rolls off his tongue. Mike is not here because I texted him to make sure he had the link, because when I don't personally inform him of my stream, sometimes he gets angry at me, but apparently I woke him up, so now he's very angry at me. Oh, goodness. Yeah, is that Bruce's shed? Tom asks. Hey, Tom. Welcome to the chat. Oh, goodness. And a bunch of other people are joining. Reed, Shoalfox, and Michael, and Duke. Yeah, anybody who I did not say hello to, hello. Thank you very much for joining. Apple IIe PDS card, 2-minute stream of glory. The views will be glorious. Well, that is actually one that's easy enough for me to do, because I've kind of softly said no, I'm not doing any more recapping work except if it's for friends or anything like that. Because I simply don't have the time anymore. I have so much of my other stuff and other projects to do that I'm just working on the residual stuff, which I have quite a backlog logged up. But CSUDSU Industries, my goodness, that's hard to say. If you do want that 2E PDS card recapped and you are in the US to save on crazy amount of shipping costs, email me at mac84tv@gmail.com. Again, mac84tv@gmail.com, and we will see what we can do, because I believe I still have those caps in stock. I think. Hey, Eric is here. Excellent. Okay, so What are we doing today? Well, we're working on a Macintosh Classic, and this is something that I don't see too often when I repair machines. They're not in this good of a condition, and I just want to show you. Okay, thanks. The condition of this Mac Classic, because it is absolutely great. Yes, there will be much more content to come. I'm just trying to focus more on the non-live videos because I shot footage for maybe 2 or 3 of them, and they're just sitting on my computer, and I haven't had time to do that. So, and Justin is here. Hello, Justin. So, yeah, and Trina's here. Okay, now we have the whole kit and caboodle of everybody who is watching Trina, including Trina themselves. Thank you very much, Trina, for joining. I was plugging your channel earlier. If you want to put the link in the chat there, Trina, you're welcome to do so to try and get some subscribers. And Steven, hello. William, hello. Anybody else that I missed? And Bruce just goes, why? Just, because he's silly. Yes, I stole them from this guy in Canada. He's a bit of a smart aleck. I think his name is Mike. Anyway. All right, so let's take a look at this Mac Classic. This is in very good shape, so I just want to show it to you. Not a hint of yellowing on it at all. Sorry, my camera's a little tilty. But look at just this case. It is in impeccable condition. Not a scratch on it. Not one I could see anyway. Never been opened before. The screws were very locked tight in there. So, yeah. Very, very good condition. The reason I opened it up was to, of course, recap the darn thing. It does work. However, they were very concerned because some things were going on with it, which we'll talk about in a second. But here's the back of the machine there. Again, very, very good condition. It does not have the cutout for the speaker. So this is an earlier revision. The date on this is March 1991, because I have seen Mac Classics with the speaker holes on them. I know the Mac Classic 2s are more well known for that, but I have seen them on the original Classics. Oh, goodness. No, this is for me to repair and give back to them. They are local in New Jersey, so this was one of those things where they were able to just drop it off, which was great, because I don't like having anybody ship those machines, because I have to worry about it twice. When it comes to me, and when I ship it back to them. And no thanks. So here's the logic board. We have a Classic 1 logic board. I'm going to remove the RAM expansion here, which is fully populated. So if you have a Mac Classic that has an empty slot here, that's for RAM expansion. And the Classic 2 has a similar slot, but it doesn't work that way. Hey, 50 Shades of Beige. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining. And so we have the memory card here, which is fully populated. You have 1 megabyte of memory here. Then you have 2 slots. So these each have 1 meg installed. So this Mac Classic maxes out at 4 megabytes of memory. And there is a little jumper here. You have to be careful with this, because if you don't move that jumper over, it's not going to recognize the memory. And that jumper has a position for these SIMs are installed or they're not installed. And I actually had someone contact me that said, I upgraded my Mac Classic. It's not seeing the memory. Is it the bad memory slots? Is it a bad connector? And I said, did you move the jumper? What jumper? And it turned out to be the jumper. So there you go. Not all Classics included it, Adam, because this has 1 megabyte built in, and there's 1 megabyte on the board. So the cheapest Classic you could get was without a hard drive, and I believe without the memory expansion. So it only came with 1 megabyte of memory. And so it was basically like a Mac Plus with a high density floppy disk drive. And so I believe that was a $9.99 price point in the US. And I think that was a configuration that came out a little bit after the initial release, if memory recalls. But yeah, it only came with 1 megabyte. And since this has memory built in, you'd have to pay extra for that upgrade. Now, other companies did make this. I think Bruce or one of us crazy people who do these Mac live streams actually found a third-party one, which was interesting. So, obviously the design isn't too crazy difficult to reproduce, I would assume. And so some other company other than Apple made this. But yeah, these are, I think even MacFX makes them these days, or one of these companies that does that. So there you go. Like that smash button. Well, thank you, Trina. Oh, goodness. Goodness. I have a loose memory card. I guess I'll keep it in case I ever find the 1 megabyte model. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I've had 1 or 2 that came without this. And so I guess they were the cheapo ones. But yeah, there you go. Now, for anybody who was... I got a question recently about Mac Classic boards. And they were saying, I'm trying to decide if this is a Mac Classic or a Mac Classic 2. Because some of the Apple boards, they don't really say on the logic board. Some of them you'll have the name of the machine silk screened on here. I don't believe this is the case for this one, no. But you'll see a number at the bottom here. And usually it's a pretty safe bet. You can look up this number and you'll probably find an eBay listing or something like that where you could trace it back to what the machine it is. But the easy way to tell if it's a Mac Classic is there are no memory slots on the board. A Mac Classic 2 has memory slots on the board over in this region. And it also only has one ROM. So obviously this connector looks similar to that on a Classic 2, but the easy signs to go for is only one ROM chip, no memory slots, because the memory on the Mac Classic is this. If you have memory slots, then it's a Classic 2. Now there are two revisions of the Classic 2. There's one with 2 ROMs and one with 4 ROMs. So those are a little bit different to recap, but anyway, just some identification of this board if anybody was curious. Are those 30-pin SIMs? I believe they are. We're not going to count the pins, but yes, they look like 30-pin SIMs. And the processor, of course, yes. But if you're not getting too technical, you just say, oh, does it have one of these things? Does it have one of this? Yes, no? Okay, good to go. Hello, Todd. What a coincidence. I just now finished recapping a Mac Classic system board myself. Before it wouldn't boot consistently, and there was no sound, working great now. Oh, that's excellent, Todd. Very glad to hear that. Yeah, some of these can be pretty nasty. And although this board looks like it's in pretty good shape, and we did remove the battery, this was a Inogranic lithium battery. That's a whatever brand that is, with the date on it of XG/01/91. And we're going to test the voltage of that because we're a bit nutty around here. But I'm going to show you some of the not so good looking spots on this board in a second. Yeah, I think with some little trickery, you can get the Classic to run some system software earlier than it was supposed to. But the Classic also has a neat trick of having an operating system built into ROM, which is really nice. Speaking of the ROM, there is one thing I do want to point out before we continue here, because it's something very important if you get these machines used or you're repairing them. And I covered this in another video extensively. However, just want to make a point here. So you have the ROM here at the bottom of the board. Now facing towards the battery holder, you will notice that there is one set of pins empty in the slot. That is intentional. So if you remove that ROM, you want to make sure you have the right orientation. And where you see the silk screen here of that little notation there, you want to make sure that is one space from the battery holder. If you put the ROM in backwards or you move it around, one space over, you're going to fry it. That's not going to be good. Any battery damage? No, there seems to be no battery damage at all. And so let's look at the caps real quick. And so there are some telltale signs of capacitor leakage because look at that. We have a nice little wet spot of capacitor leakage. And if that had dried up, you would still see there's a few little hairs there. Ooh, that looks like it's pretty nasty, actually. Yeah. Hopefully that didn't corrode all the way through. Yeah, let me just fix the focus on this because I moved this thing around so much. Sorry for the squeaks, folks. I did spray this thing with WD-40, apparently not in the right places. But I think the worst offenders here are right by the main connector that goes to the analog board. And you can see little black spots and fish juice. So, yeah, that's not good. I do have to run upstairs to get the Q-tips, which little cotton buds, which I brought upstairs and left for some reason. So I'll need to go grab those. So I'll have to do that in a second. Mikey says, in your last stream, I saw some chips with fuzzy legs from capacitor group. Did you reflow those? Was that the Macintosh 2VX stream? I didn't reflow those. I did just scrape all the crud off of them. That machine's sitting here with the top off of it still. I have to get back to that. But that's a personal project, so there's no time frame on that. Yeah. But this, I suspect, also has analog board issues. The person sent me a picture of the machine once it's turned on, and the screen sort of has an hourglass look to it. It's like, bulging out at the bottom. and it sort of settles once it's on, but I think the capacitors in that analog board are past their prime. Now, the only reason I'm doing this stream is because I wanted to get these caps off the board before they did any more damage. I don't know if I'll have time tonight. This might be a fairly short stream, just giving everyone a heads up, because it is almost 11 p.m., my goodness. But I do have an analog board kit that I had ordered for a different project, so I could recap the analog board on this probably tomorrow, because that's the thing that you don't want to rush. Just catching up here. Yeah, if the Apple TV first gen has already been hacked, I'm not sure how to revert that. I'm sure there's a way to do that, but yep. Oh, and hey, Dave, welcome to the stream. Missed you there, and Joe, and Elite Prime, and anybody else I missed. Hello, hello. I'm gonna just take a 30-second break while Trina goes off to bed. No worries. Good luck on your job tomorrow, Trina, and everything. I'm just gonna run upstairs and get the little cotton swabs that I did leave. So you could groove out to the Be Right Back music, and you know what's better than that? Ooh, I have a silly idea here, and Bruce's channel will give me some copyright notifications, I'm sure. How about instead of that, you could look at Bruce's chicken cam here, his chook cam. So there you go. You could look at that for a moment. I will be back in just a few minutes. Alrighty, I am back. If you want more chicken cam, or chook cam, please go to the link that I'm sure Bruce is putting in the description. On air, a pigeon came in. And look at Bruce with the annotations. Look how fancy Bruce is. Bruce is fancy. So I'm sure you get to subscribe to the link that Bruce is going to put in there. Which one is Bruce? Oh, goodness. Yeah, that's the live streaming shed. That's Bruce shrinks down. Very small. Metal music, thank you for the pun. Alright, so I have just some isopropyl alcohol on a cotton bud here. And I just want to see how nasty this is. Looks like most of it's coming off, which is good. Yeah, it's not terrible. That trace is going to have to be reinforced. This chip might have to be cleaned. But that's, you know, it's all dark and yucky, but that's not too terrible. Alrighty, and let's see. Get that all cleaned up. Oh yeah, that looks much better. Again, this board looks pretty darn good. It's just these caps were obviously leaking. This one, look at that. Probably have a weak trace there. Now, the individual told me that they had very low sound on this. And that could be down to a trace like that right there. Because, dun-dun-dun, that's the sound chip. Oh, and look at this lovely trace. Oh, this board is full of surprises. You know, the outside looked beautiful. And hold on, I gotta focus. The outside looked beautiful, but we got all sorts of surprises inside here. I have to clean this microscope. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness, yeah. Let me adjust this so what I see is what you see, because otherwise we'll be doing this all night. Ugh. That's nasty. Yes, it actually did boot, Adam. And just had sound, but very low sound. And now we know why. That trace is probably rotted through. Is not making a connection. And then we have this trace here. It has all sorts of little pits in it. So, yeah, look at that. Yeah, that is that's pretty nasty. Yeah, just leaked right onto there. And then that trace, well, we'll beep that out, but yeah, everything else looks good. The battery seemed okay. We didn't test the battery. You have to test the voltage on the battery. What am I doing here? It's a Mac84 string without me, making fun of a 35-year-old battery. So here's this guy here. And let's see. So we're just going through these repairs here. Hey, Orlando, your chip arrived. The ROM chip arrived for your SE30. So this weekend I'm going to try and see if I can program that properly and see if that fixes it all up. Just want to let you know. It arrived in the mail this morning. Took the very slow boat, but it finally got here. So that's good. All right, let's put this thing there, and no, that's not what I want. I want the voltage. 0.05 volts. 0.05 volts. There's a little bit of juice left in it, but I'm glad we pulled the darn thing out of there. My goodness. Adam says his 2SI had very low sound. Recapping fixed it. It smelled like a tuna factory that was next door to a sewage plant. Those Mac 2SIs, I tell you, not the best viability in those things. Oh, geez. Oh, sorry to hear that, Orlando. Feel better soon, you and the family as well. That sucks. Rest up. I have plenty of live streams that'll help you sleep. Obsolete Techie, there is a page on my website. If you go to Mac84.net and if you just search the word microscope, you'll probably find it. Or Amscope is the brand of the microscope I have. Very expensive, about $700, maybe more now with the camera and shipping and everything. But I bought this when I was in the middle of doing all these client repairs for people, so it paid itself off within a year or so. Thanks, Retro Techie. All right, yeah. When the batteries are made in a country that doesn't exist anymore, that's always interesting. This battery has an origin of West Germany. I think I gotta zoom in on that. I didn't think this was one of those, but sure enough, there it is. West Germany. And so I'm actually gonna do this because where's my camera? I'm gonna hide that. Because at VCF Midwest, there is going to be a little session that we're doing, myself and Ron of Ron's Computer Videos. And this would be a good screen grab for that, showing showing the battery and the date. West Germany, 1991. Oh, that's fantastic. So Ron could clip that out of there. But fan kept running to halt. Looks away from it, letting it unstuff. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. The fan in that is probably needs to be replaced too. There's a lot of things in these old machines that have to be replaced. It's like a ticking time bomb with some of these things, and then it's just a drain on your wallet endlessly because you need a desoldering gun. You need this. You need a Kaiweets KM601 multimeter. You need all this stuff. Okay, so thankfully, there's only 8 caps on this board. So if this doesn't give us too much trouble, we should be able to recap the logic board tonight, test it, and then in a future episode we will tackle the analog board now that I have everything in stock. But first things first, we have to remove the capacitors, so that's always fun. So let's do that. Thank you everybody who's tuned in right now. I know this is a bit of a late stream, but sometimes I catch a slightly different crowd. So if you are tuning in, thank you very much for stopping by. If it is your first time here, I would appreciate a subscription to the channel. It doesn't cost you a cent, but it tells YouTube that I'm not that terrible of a person. You know, I'm not the best. I'm not that terrible. You know, there's worse people out there. So, yeah, and you can click the little notification bell, all that stuff. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter, Mac84 TV. And if you really want to support me, you can do so via Patreon or PayPal. There's a link on my website, Mac84.net. If you are a patron, you do get early access to videos and exclusive content and things like that, including like Blather On streams where I just, you know, talk endlessly about what's going on and updates to the channel and so on. So if you like that sort of stuff, for as little as $1 a month, you could support me doing it. In 1991, I bought a new Chevy S10 pickup. I don't know how that relates to the Mac other than the age, but okay, I'll accept it. Tom, it's my first time here. No, you were here dumping printers. I saw yous. That's the guy that did it. He was right there. So if you haven't been to a Mac84 live stream before, we do stupid accents and silly things that don't often make sense. Oh, there it goes. I thought I unplugged it. And yeah, that's just we're silly and corny, but that's okay. Now I need to find my tweezers because I can't really get the capacitors off of here without my tweezers. The hot air gun makes that a bit difficult to do. Bomb Harbor. And he occasionally sings off tune. Maybe that's why my subscriber count goes down. I sing too much. Or not enough. Everyone's like, oh god, no. Please tell him it's bad. Otherwise he'll keep going forever and ever. Did I drop the tweezers? It's very possible I dropped the tweezers and I just did not pick them up. I also have that 9150, I think it's a Quadra 9150 or 910. It's with the big power supply that I keep hitting my knee on. I finally got the voltage regulator for that in the mail. So I will be resuming that stream at some point. So most of my live streams are just going to be follow-ups on things that I started and have not fixed yet. So that's what's going to be going on. Here's the tweezers. Only singing. Mac84 MTV. Mac84, the musical. Emily, you do not want that. You do not want that. Why am I thinking 9150? Whatever. Anyway. Alright, so we're going to put... look how wobbly this is already. Yeah, some of these are just like begging to be released from their mortal coil. So I'm going to put some flux. This is Amtech Flux. No affiliation, but they did send me a sample. And I use their flux a lot. And it's good quality stuff. And so I've applied some flux to that. And now we're going to use the hot air gun to remove them. Just going to put a little bit of Kapton tape on the plastic there. Since this machine is in pretty darn good condition. I don't want to risk it by being cheap with the Kapton tape. The fun part is getting it to sit between the connector and the caps. That'll do it. You just want to make a bit of a shield because this is plastic and, you know. Excellent. All right, so we're going to be blasting this with a lot of heat, and we just want to protect that as much as possible. You like these streams? They're very relaxing. Well, metal music, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Retro Techie, you know the answer to that question. You smart aleck. Yes, Adam, you did. And I bought like a 5-pack of that tape, which is great because if I lose this one, there's like another one right there. Thank you very much, Adam. Everyone's support is greatly appreciated, whether you give me $1 every 5 years or you're more generous or whatever. It's hey, I couldn't do these streams and with these tools and stuff if it wasn't for the support of people either watching the channel or through Patreon or anything like that. So thank you very much. All right, so let's get some of these caps off. I'm going to use my little fan here so I don't inhale all the lovely fumes. This next on my purchase list is a fume extractor, and hell will freeze over when I actually purchase one. All right, so let's hope these caps come quietly and they don't smell like fish. Ah, who am I kidding? Of course they'll smell. They already started leaking terribly. So we're going to start off in the middle here. Okay. I got an error message. What the heck is this? Hold on a second. What the hell is this? I got an error message on my hot air station. U003. What the heck is that supposed to be? Well, try it again. Seems to be working okay now. Recap the hot air station. But it's blowing cold air. Okay, now it's hot. Alright. Oh, this smells! Oh god, these are terrible. It's like dog breath. Oof. That's nasty. Ooh. That one looks like fun underneath. Sorry you didn't see that. This one looks terrible. Oh goodness. Yeah, that's when why people send people send me boards. I'm like, oh, it looks clean. I'm like, well, I mean, this trace is being eaten away, so it's got that going for it. I think we caught this one just in the nick of time, huh? Oh, these smell awful. Oh my goodness. That's terrible. Oof. Savvy Sage, yeah. That's... The offer still stands. If you want to send it my way, there's a bit of a wait list there, buddy. But I know you were toying around with that idea. I forget where you landed on that. My apologies. Life has been busy, but yeah, these classics, time is not kind to them. Oh my goodness. Look at that. You see that? Ugh. That's going to require some cleanup. Ugh. Just look at that. Ugh. Something died there. Rare, sealed, Steve Jobs. Yeah, that's why when people have like sealed Macs, like there was a Reddit post. This guy's like, yeah, I was cleaning out my relative's place, and they have this Mac2SI, and some guy's like, no, it'll be fine. It's never powered on. The battery will be great. And I'm like, well, I'm not really concerned about the battery because it's probably toast anyway. But the power supply and the logic board on that thing are horrible. Like any 2SI. Like, so, you know, this poor guy is like, hey, I struck it rich. And was like, no, that's a 2SI. You did not. Oh, look at that. Got a nasty little, little eating of the trace there. We'll have to fix that. You know, this worked 50 years ago when my great-grandpappy used to use it. And so I don't see any reason why it would stop working because, you know, things last forever and all. Especially electronics. So yeah, I want $5 billion. Cash, please. None of that PayPal business. Hello? Hello? What? Yeah, that's why, as a general rule, and I've said this before and I'll say it a million times, I generally do not spend over $50 for a computer. I don't care if it looks like it's in beautiful shape, unless I just want it for the cosmetic case of it, because time is not kind to electrolytic components and batteries. Especially when you're blind buying on something on eBay or something, and you don't have the ability to look at it in person. Just look at this. I'm not even going to bother scraping most of this. Well, I guess I will. This looks like it was, there's like some solder under here. This almost looks like, because there's extra solder mask. I wonder if this was like a little defect from the factory. Because it almost looks like someone's been in here before, but I know they have not. That's interesting. Well, see, that's the thing that I see often repeated online. Apple used cheap parts, blah, blah, blah. That's not really the case. I mean, anything that's 35 years old is gonna have problems. It's not like these capacitors were second grade or anything. I don't think they were. You know, it's just one of those things that with time, things fail. Especially capacitors and batteries. So I don't necessarily think it's, unless I'm just completely missing the point of that comment. Oh, look at that. You just breathe on this. The solder mask just came right out. Is there copper under there? Wow. Wow. Let's zoom into this. I don't necessarily think it was them using cheap parts or anything, but certainly these machines require a lot of attention now. I can't seem to get closer to that. I'm going to try and get as close as I can. I look at you and you go out of focus. Probably as best as I can get. Exactly, yeah. That's why generally I don't spend too much, because it could be a Quadra 840AV where it takes me 5 years to get anything out of it. Or it could be a machine that's much easier. Yeah, that trace is going to have to be run. I'm going to probably take off this sound chip because the capacitor fluid probably went whee all into there. We could see what it did to this via. This is turning into a bigger job than I had thought. And this is why I've generally decided to put a halt onto external repairs. Not that this one wasn't worth it or anything like that. But you never know what you're going to find. Oh, goodness. Let's clean up this mess here. Yeah, these caps lasted as long as they did. And so I don't necessarily think, as Redley just pointing out, they were cheap parts. But, I mean, today, I'm not looking forward to replacing components in some of my appliances and stuff like that. I've already had to replace a main board in my oven. And so you may look at this and you may say, oh, that cleaned up pretty well. But what I see Sort of. If I could focus it a bit better. Nope, yeah, I'm too zoomed in. I can't focus anymore. What I see are these little dots. And these are pretty harmless, but you're going to want to scrape that away because that's a little bit of either a defect in the way the board was produced or a wee bit of corrosion. So we'll just be touching that up with a little dot of solder. That may be Joe. Is it an SE30? I'm not sure. Yeah, so this is oh goodness. Oh goodness. Surprised this thing booted up at all. I've seen machines that weren't as bad that that wouldn't boot. Oh, this is terrible. This smells horrible too. Oh yeah, this has trace repair written all over it. Well, Steve, you thought you'd get away with a quick and simple stream tonight. It's only 8 capacitors. You stupid idiot. You idiot, Steven. Oh, that is nasty. I would not want to see what this board looks like after another few years of just rotting away. That was at console5.com, Dave. That's 5, the number 5. Console 5. Now, they do have different variations of analog boards, recap kits and stuff like that, so you want to make sure it matches the number that you are looking to get. I find that ordering those cap kits are a bit cheaper than getting them yourself. Sorry, I'm just catching up on the chat here. Sorry, I don't want to miss this. Just buy a Quadra 700. Yeah, the power supply will go. Okay, Savvy Sage, yeah, I'm just backed up on my new job and everything like that, but if you did email me, I will get back to you about that. Excellent. Yep, Adrian does some great repairs too. Glad he got your SE30 working. Oh, I can just smell this stuff. Oh, it's just disgusting. Well, Savvy Sage, that's not a bad idea to bring it out with you. The problem is I'd have to bring it back with me, and I don't think that I want to put that in my luggage because I'm flying out there, and I don't want it to get crushed or anything. The shipping on just if it's the I see what you're talking about, the analog board. You know what? Let's talk. Maybe I'll bring a recap kit with me. We could do it there. I don't know. Well, let's see. Let's see what we could do. No promises, but it'll be a geeky weekend. I'm sure we could figure out something. Because that's right, you had analog board issues at that, I think. See, my brain is terrible. I had to refer to the email. As a friend at work used to say, let's go to the videotape. Oh my goodness, look how warped this. I'm just noticing like how bubbly this is. Like all those wavy lines, that's 3D. There's some depth to that. Well, that sounds like fun, Joe. Sorry, Joe. I think the one that I had referred to you was a SEMA CMAC, so maybe it's not that one, but oh goodness, this is wild, man. All right, well let's try and help this poor suffering soul. Ugh. Ugh, I like breathed in really deep and swallowed some of that disgusting smell. It's just like lingering. It's like a bad taste. Just look at that. They're just coming right off. Hardly anything holding this solder mask on. Oh, goodness. Alright, Seven Sage, yeah, just keep me updated. I have a small fan. It's just, you know, it's a stinky board. Stinky boards are going to be stinky. Another little dot there. And I get comments from time to time, well, why do you scrape the green stuff off? And so this is solder mask, and the problem is that if these traces are already corroded, you don't want to leave that stuff on the board because it's just going to get worse. So to counteract that, what you can do is try and scrape some of the crap away, and then you can tin the leads with your soldering iron, just putting a very thin layer of fresh solder on them. And that will help to make sure they do not corrode further. And if there's a lead like this, which you might be able to get away without doing it, but if there's something here that goes by a component, you'll sometimes need to run a little wire that's insulated wire just to make sure it doesn't touch anything that it shouldn't. The dog is barking upstairs. I'm sorry. I will be right back. Here's Bruce's camera again. Alrighty, I'm back. Bruce, I hope you don't mind my new Be Right Back screen. After I did give you that idea. Oh, good night, Eric. Good luck with your camping. Yeah, we're watching my brother's dog, and my wife came home, and he was barking up a storm, but I want to make sure everything was okay. Oh, God, this smells terrible. Like, still. I went upstairs and I could still smell it. It's in my nostrils now. Well. Alright, let's do the best we can. Get this stinky board off the desk. Yeah, my bunnies are lazy. They just, like, loaf around. I mean, when you're playing with them or you're cuddling them, they're different, but, you know. If I just showed you the view of the camera right now, they're just snoozing. But that's okay. That's what buns do. Oh, we have some nice cap juice. Either flux or cap juice. I'm going to be willing to bet cap juice. The smell has become self-aware. The smell is coming from inside the house. Ooh, yeah, look at that. Oh. Well, that's also going to have to be lifted up and inspected under this chip. Well, this is going to be more than I anticipate. It's always the trades I do. Like, oh, I'll trade you this for that or whatever. Those repairs always seem to be the worst. Anywho, let's get the rest of the caps off. Then we could start. We could resume complaining about stinky caps. I'll change my address, Adam. Don't make me do it. Oh god! As long as they're not as bad as the one with the Nubus slots. My goodness, that was exciting. Let's just say exciting. All right, so the serial number on here, in case this falls off because it's not a label, it's just printed, is SG1108XS03F5. Ugh. Oh yeah, that cap's fine. Oh gosh. Well, Adam, I wish I had experience doing one. I mean, I could probably do it, but I've never taken one apart before. Don't even know the values of those caps. Whee! Oh. Excellent, Adam. Well, I wish you the best. Yeah, I've actually seen, like, new old box. Oh, God, this is terrible. No wonder the sound's not working. Holy crap. I've seen, like, new old box analog boards, like service parts. I still wouldn't trust them. Because caps like electricity going through them. I think when they sit, they get worse. But look at the mess that left behind. Oh my goodness. That's making it into a slideshow. That's like the after or the before. Yeah. Goodness. Alright, let's try and get these off. Now thankfully these little caps come off quite easily. Well, usually. Justin, it was deceiving. The outside looked very clean. I was bamboozled, I tells you. Bamboozled. It's not the owner's fault. These machines do that. And if you're going to repair these machines, you have to accept the fact that some of them will be doozies. These caps really don't want to get off, so I have to like nudge them with my tweezers. There we go. All right. All the caps have been removed. The bomb has been diffused from the board. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I'm actually going to move the microscope away for a second. I'm going to take some photos with my phone. Because this is the type of job that I want to document. Where's did I move my phone upstairs? Well, that'll be dumb of me. Huh. Well, I had a phone somewhere. I had a picture-taking device at some point. Probably left upstairs because I'm an idiot. Well, I guess I could use this camera. Yoink! You're going for a ride, folks. Let's get the light of the microscope on here. No, the resolution's not gonna. Whoa! What happened to that? Oh. You all right there, camera? Did my camera just die? Oh, jeez. Anyway. That's nasty. And then... dun 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 dun. Ugh. Ugh. Oh boy. Yeah, something is weird with my camera. Let's try and adjust the settings manually. Yeah. Alright, I guess that's good enough. I managed to get it working long enough to record some B-roll before I checkerboard it again. Oh gosh. Alright, yeah, well let's try and clean it up. I could yell at this thing forever, but it's not gonna clean it up. Goodness, this is pretty bad. I mean, I've seen some bad boards. This is pretty up there. Yeah, there's a war of capacitors on this board, and I'm the loser in the battle. All right, let's clean this up here as best we can. Oh. Goodness. Well, that sound chip's gonna have to come off because there's a trace going right under there that I'm pretty sure doesn't go anywhere anymore. Oh, goodness. Goodness gracious me. Use your Dremel. We're gonna definitely have to take that chip off. Oh, goodness. Like a bomb went off in here. Oh, there's a pool of capacitor fluid over here, too. Oh, yeah. Those traces will have to be fixed up, too. Beautiful. Scraping away these areas, one, so I know I have to repair them, and two, so I could test continuity as we go along here. Look at that. It ate into the board there. Ugh. Solder balls and junk. There's probably a pad at some point. Get off this board. Yes, Drake, I did not know you streamed because I was either asleep when the stream went and I didn't see the notification, or I only had the personalized notifications on YouTube. So I fixed my my foolish endeavor, and I went back and I changed it to all notifications. So every time you do a live stream, I will be personally notified, if YouTube actually bothers to tell me. But I will watch the replay tomorrow, Drake. Very exciting. Hopefully your board was not as stinky as this one, because you might be able to smell this from where you are. My neighbor to the north. Oh, that's pretty darn nasty. Alright, well, let's get the multimeter out and start poking some things, huh? That's a good one, Adam. Alright, you can turn this fan off. It's not helping. I'll put in my own music. Don't tell me what not to watch. Alright. We're in continuity mode. No, we're not. Now we're in continuity mode. Surprisingly, that still works. This one should work too. There was so much crud here. Yeah, that's just coming right off. I did to poke it with the multimeter, and the silkscreen just comes not silkscreen, the solder mask just comes right off. Exactly, yeah. The traces go under the caps, and it's all fun and games until they leak, and they destroy things, and then everyone gets sad. Oh, boy. Should be fine. You know, a lot of this looks okay, but there's a lot of suspect areas, so probably have to remove this chip here, and I probably will be removing this sound chip, because this trace goes right under there, and I bet you that looks terrible. Just like a sad Mac. You might as well bring one of them, Adam, and see if you... See, I mean, yeah, you're going to bring the one to sell. I would bring it, Adam. A lot of machines sold there. I don't know if you'll get exactly as much as you want there, because it's more of an enthusiast environment, but you never know. You never know. And I could be there with the snooper disc and boot it up right in front of people. That's what I think is the best part about these shows. Most of the time when you want to buy these machines, you could see them up and running. And so you could be like, look, this is as is. It's been recapped. It does function. But here, play around with it. And I don't think you'd walk away back with that, Adam. I'd be very surprised if you did. We'll even include a Mac84 sticker. A limited edition, exclusive Mac84 sticker with it. There is actually a Recap by Mac84 sticker on both of those boards. They're on the bottom. But I always take a picture of the serial number and put it into my little spreadsheet. And put a little sticker on it. So I know what boards I've had the pleasure of battling. Alright, let's I guess remove this chip. Oh, this could be a longer stream than I thought. Yeah, it's almost midnight. What am I doing here? You're a silly person, Steven. Very silly person. But this sound chip needs to come off. I did fall asleep on the couch after dinner, so I do have some energy. Oh, God, I'm such an old man. Oh, goodness. Well, Crypto CS guy, Bruce Rain of Brankus Creations, has an excellent tutorial of soldering videos. A few of them, actually. I would highly suggest you check out his channel if my good friend Bruce Rain of Brankus Creations is still around. Bruce can put a link in the chat to his lovely videos on his Brankus Creations YouTube channel. Ain't that right, Bruce? New problem, trying to install Venerable Word onto Power Mac. Keeps saying I need to free up space. -2. That is probably because the software application is too old to understand the amount of space you have on that system, Red Leader. So you might have to install it on a smaller partition or something like that. Just a guess. But those older systems don't know how to deal with a lot of space. Look, it's Tom, aka Bruce. Now Tom gets a free Blue Scuzzy. Wait, no. Alright, I'm not going to be able to do this because on the microscope camera. Let me switch to this. Point the camera this way. Just because I have to go in a circular motion to heat this up, and I can't do that without without hitting into the microscope. Alright, the chip has been removed. Let's see how that trace looks, huh? Oh, Tom. Alright. Yeah, so this trace went to that pad. That actually looks like it might be okay, but we're going to double check. Let me center this so if any poor soul's in a situation like I am, you get a good look for where the traces go under the sound chip. Just moving this around a bit. In fact, I'm going to take a picture. I don't have my phone. Where's my phone? I'll take a picture with this camera. You're at the mercy of what I point at. Again, but the light. Don't worry, the camera won't focus. I think that's close enough. As best we're going to get with this webcam. Alrighty. Back to the hole. Yeah, I mean, if you could install it on another system and then just manually drag those files to it, I know that's not fun, but you might have to do something like that. Old software installers can be picky because they simply don't expect some of these newfangled systems and such. Alright, that looks a lot cleaner. So let's do a little continuity test. Yeah, look at that, making that connection, but there is some crud that is still there. No Thomas B. It's a Back to the Future reference, you silly goose. What are you talking about, Doc? All the best stuff's made in Japan. But Doc Brown probably had some thoughts similar to what you're referring to. Alright. This generally looks okay. I'm going to just test things out with the multimeter here before I put the chip back on. So I don't want to be like, oh yeah, it looks okay, and then, you know, it's not. Okay, just wanted to make sure. Alrighty. So. Good. Good. So far, there's like 4 traces that are damaged around the sound chip. So no wonder the darn thing wasn't working properly. Surprised it worked at all. Excellent. Time to put the sound chip back on. Yes. The dream of having a DeLorean. I'd love a DeLorean if it had a modern engine. So I don't have to deal with any of the quirks. I'm not a big car guy at all. I don't really know much about them. But from what I understand, they are a bit quirky. Oh, look, there's some green. That probably didn't help either. My goodness, this poor board. But thank you, Tom, for putting in the links to Bruce's soldering videos. I'm going to give Bruce such crap because he's the one that wanted me to stream. And then I plug his stuff, and he's nowhere to be found. The gall of that guy. What, is he working or something? Eating lunch? My goodness. My goodness. Shameful. Shameful. Adam. The only appeal to me of that car is, you know, as if it was souped up with all the geeky crap on it to make it look like the car from Back to the Future. It's the only reason I, and probably 99% of other people who have interest in that car, would want to drive the damn thing. Bruce maybe is mesmerized with his own chicken stream. This is very possible. It's very possible. I gotta get those view hours up somehow. Right, Bruce? Oh, wait, he's not gonna respond. I once had a friend named Bruce. I don't know where I was going with that song. Sorry. Sorry. Alright, I think that's all cleaned up. Tom likes his cars like he likes his laser printers. Terrible. Terrible. Oh, I'm forgetting things. Well, let me clean this up. It's time to turn the soldering iron on. For the first time in the stream. There we go. Yeah, Tom of all people. That guy. The laser printer guy, he had to go to link to your videos. I mean, come on. Electrical problems and all. Tom is a glutton for punishment. That's why we like Tom. Alright, so what I am doing is I'm going to use my soldering iron. Assuming I could find where I put the damn solder. Oh no. Oh noes. Where's the solder? I have a whole roll of it, or at least it was here on the desk. Oh, that's embarrassing. Oh, here it is. See, I put things places, and I sometimes lose those things. I'm just going to put a little ball of solder on the end of the iron, and we're just going to go over here and massage things. We're also covering over little bits that need some solder, like this. But we're loosening up the old solder, so I can wick it away with my wick. Get it all gone. Because it does look all nice and shiny, though. I could just leave it on there, but it's easier to put the chips on, I find, when you remove all of the previous solder. And now I get to play the game of where I put my solder wick. These are fun games we're playing tonight, aren't they? Very, very boring, mundane games. If you cleaned your damn desk, Steven, you wouldn't have to play these games. Shut up, Steven. I know that. Ugh. There go my knees. Okay. Where did... Oh, there it is. It was staring right at me. Oh, that's cool, Dave. That's neat. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, excuse me. You want to be very careful when you're wicking away solder like this, because it's very easy to rip up the pad as you're pulling it along. It's also very easy for that wick to stick to something else that you don't want to. So you just gotta be very careful. Now sometimes I don't bother to clean these pads, but this machine is so dirty that I am doing that. Sat through a live stream the other day, including reading the directions on a fire extinguisher. Hey, Scarlet Swordfish! Long time no see, buddy. Well, you probably like the last stream, but it goes okay. We have very smelly things on this board. Just kind of driving me bonkers, but that's what it is. It is what it is. I can smell it in my dreams. You see that one board Mac84 recapped? He recapped it, then he went insane, and then he recapped all those people. Alright, Mr. Multimeter. I'll pay attention to you. Let me shut you off for now so you don't beep like that again. There's no beeping like that in this house! Alright, we're just going to touch up those traces with the soldering iron. Get a little bit of... wee bit of solder on them. And I know I just... took the solder off those, but that's okay. Rinse and repeat. Just wanted to touch that. I'll probably have to run a wire for this. You know what? I'm going to do that now. While I have it exposed, there's no reason not to do it now, unless I can't find the right wire. All right, there's the thicker wire. Now where's the thinner wire? Which I'm glad is on these neon green spindles, because they're usually pretty easy for me to find. I say that as I'm looking for the one I can't find. How ironic. Hello, hello. Thank you very much for joining. Beeps like that, but more. Eep! Oh, goodness. Oh, boy. Alright, let me move this multimeter out of the way. It's possible I moved over here? No. See, sometimes I put parts behind me, and it's like, you know, out of sight, out of mind. For me, like, times 1,000. So I just had that here a second ago. And here it is. I found it. Oh, I accidentally ripped the cable. That's okay. The box is empty. It's one of my favorite lines from The Simpsons. I mean, I have a lot. I think it's a Treehouse of Horror episode. They have a court case going on. And one of the things is, like, if you don't win the court case, the trial or whatever, your pizza's free. And at the the end of the trial. The lawyer played by Phil Hartman. He comes up and he's like, "Well, we didn't win, but here's your pizza." Says, "But no, we're okay." "Oh, that's okay. The box is empty." And he opens the pizza box and it's empty. Oh goodness! I should really be using tweezers to hold that down. Where's my tweezers? There we go. Come on. There we go. Yeah, but we did win. Yes, the one where Homer sells his soul. I think it's like Treehouse of Horror, like 2 or 3. It's a very early one. "This chair be high, says I." A lot of good quotes from that. Alright, so this... I want to bend this nicely. I see that Bruce fella doing this all the time. Makes me sick. Him and his neat trace repairs. What kind of an animal is he? A very neat one. Alright, hopefully that doesn't touch anything. It's not supposed to. We'll test that in a moment. I just want to wick that little solder ball away. There we go. Yeah, Phil Hartman's characters were fantastic. I'm very glad they never recast him or anything. I mean, how could you? Alright, I think we're good to put the sound chip back on. Just do a little continuity test here. You may remember me from other live streams, such as Bruce's Chicken Land and Joe Sings. Now I come to you in a new tale, a tale of recapping. Excellent. Alrighty. That's close enough. Making the connection from here to here. Good. Alright, let's put this chip back on. Hopefully it's the last time that chip has to come off this board. I don't sing much. Oh, come on, Joe. You and Garth I'll be the backup singers. You guys put on a band or a show or something. Live from VCF Midwest, it's the ancient, stupid, dancing, singing people. I don't know. Recapping people. The recappers who sing. If you pay us, we'll stop. Oh God, please pay them. I have children. Alright, so that was a pretty big blob of solder. But I think that should be okay. I don't want to do a lot of drag soldering in this corner because of that trace I just did. So I just want to be very, very careful. Be very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits. You know it's late when I can't do the Elmore Fudd laugh. Not that I could do that usually. Who am I talking to? Whose stream was it where we did all of the Satanic Mac Club soldering? Tom, you may remember. Was that Joe's stream or Ron's stream? Where we all did the soldering of that RAM? Because I never tested mine, and I went to test in the Color Classic, which maybe it doesn't work in, I don't know. And, yeah, I don't think mine works properly. I got some garbage on the screen, so I'll have to test. Maybe there's a pin or something I didn't do properly. This is always so fun when you're right next to plastic. You can't move it exactly the way you want to. Steve Duck's track. Drake may remember, because Drake is still in the chat. That looks okay. No, we don't sacrifice chickens in this house. Yeah, it was one of those when we were doing the Satanic Mac Club soldering of the memory, and I have to test that. I only tested one of the modules, so does it work in a Color Classic? I would assume it does. Unless it's too fancy for it. Alright, so let's take a look at this at an angle to make sure we did our job right. Those look all good. It's always fun trying to get this to focus exactly how you want it. That looks okay. I sure hope I didn't add them. Pretty sure I didn't. Because I got some video. That looks okay. And that looks okay. Excellent. Alright, so hopefully once we put the caps back on, we'll have no more sound issues. Yay! Where am I? Where am I? Yay! Alrighty, so that's all done, hopefully. Ooh, France VRAM, very fancy. Oh, Tom's didn't work either. Oh, now I feel better. Okay, good, Drake. Thank you. I will, I guess I could test them one by one then on the Classic, because I have it here. Yeah, I'm going to double check my work because I'm going to send them to that person. I want to make sure they have working ones so they don't curse your name. All right, so let's work on the other pain point here, which really I'm not too concerned about, but since there was so much crap around this area and this chip is small, I am going to whip it off of here. Again, the focus on this thing. Come on, there we go. Yeah. So we're going to put some flux on there. Gonna flux it up. Yes, I saw that, Drake. The guy does excellent stuff. I have some ones from him I have to play around with too. One for the 4400, which didn't work, and we made some modifications, but I have to follow up with them and see if there's been any updates with that. But excellent stuff. Love the artwork on it. And that traces just fine. So what we're going to do... Don't try this at home, kids. You're just going to clean it up and put the chip right back on it, because it looks splendid. Well, thank you very much. I think I will need some luck here, but it doesn't look too terrible. Dare I say it? I mean, I've seen much worse, but sometimes it's the ones that don't look as bad that are more problematic than you think. Oh, come on, get off of the tweezers. Sometimes you're like, oh, that's not bad, and then you look at the Nubus slots like on Adams 2X, and you go, oh my god. New guy's puking his guts out in the corner. Bleh, bleh. Thank you very much, Red Leader, and good night. I think that's good. And that's good. And the rest of this, well, we'll have to fix up. Bruce is finally back. Boy, it took you long enough. You know, Tom had to link your soldering videos because someone wanted to know how to solder. We had to answer questions about the Kaiweets KM601. I mean, inexcusable. Inexcusable. It's intolerable. I see. You tell me to live stream, then you go off shopping and running errands like an adult. How dare you, sir? How dare you? Love you, Bruce. We're using your Chook Cam as the Be Right Back screen. So you were here with us in spirit. Ugh. Stinky, stinky, stinky caps. With stinky pads left over. I am so lucky. Get all the stink. Oh. Look at that! It's a chicken on the roof of the coop. Right there in the top right corner. Look at that. That's great. You got some pigeons in there, too. Oh, there he goes. Waddling off. Bruce, quick! Go out and wave your hands. Bruce is like, screw that. All right, how many subscribers does Bruce have now? 6! Well, let me refresh this. Maybe it's more. See how long it takes for this Mac to refresh a page. 8 now. Oh, come on. We could do better than that. Bruce, put the link in again. Well, I could do it too. We need everybody to subscribe to Bruce's spare channel. But Bruce, you tell me in the chat when you're about to go out and wave, and we'll make you famous. We'll make you YouTube famous. Oh, we're a bunch of dorks, aren't we? And I dropped my solder wick. Oh, where did it go? Ah, damn it. Oh, here comes Bruce. Thought he was going to fall over there for a second. Oh, Bruce. Let's do a rewind of that. Can I rewind this? Here he comes. Dun, 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 dun. It looks like he was gonna fall over. Instant replay. As I look for the thing I just dropped, which probably... Where did it go? There it is. Oh. There you go. That's worth the subscription alone to Bruce's channel. This dropped in a bin of wires under me, so that was fun. Oh boy. They hurt my arm. We have it on camera, Bruce, for insurance purposes. How did you injure your arm, sir? Well, I was waving to one of my U.S. friends on YouTube. So yeah, I'm a cam person. I go on the cam, and then they're like, oh, ew. No, I swear, it's not like that. Do you want to see? I have footage. No, thank you. We'll take your word for it. Ugh, that one's just nasty. You're not missing much with the 7100 Adam. Now, Bruce would know this. Now, Bruce, aren't there two versions of cards for the 7100? The PDS video card, isn't there? There's one with slots and one without? Or am I thinking of the... I may be mistaking it with one of the Nubus Mac 2 video cards. But essentially, I think the story goes that the one with the slots actually has less memory than the one without the slots. There's something like that. I forget which model it is, but... $8,100 maybe. Alright, let's test the multimeter here. You don't even own one. Well, I think I have two. There's nothing to write home about, but at least they're metal cases. Alright, so let's test some of the continuity here, make sure we didn't mess anything up. Maybe it's a 6100. It might be the Mac 2 I'm thinking of. Those were all connected. Alright, so this appears okay. Do some little minor touch-ups here. I'm not going to bother running cables. I don't think it's necessary right now because these are such small little bits, and they're not under where a cap is or anything. That if I really had to touch it up later, I could. But I think just covering it with some solder should be fine. Just scraping away. Need more flux on that. Just scraping away some of the old gunk. On here is fine. Yeah, that's good. Alright, cool. I can live with that. Alright. I want a Mac 2VI, except I don't. I already have a 2VX, so Excuse me. You can't fart on a 6100 without it breaking. Not that I've tried. Evan, that's an excellent question. I do have... Well, let's go to the website here, because might as well tell people. You're the second one who's asked today. So I might as well not be lazy about it. And go to the Mac84 website. Excuse me. So you go to Mac84.net. You can look at my t-shirts. I got t-shirts. Let's see if this will load up. I got some merch. It's got some t-shirts. Got some Eep things. These are new. This Eep shirt is new. I ordered one for myself. That's the shirt I usually wear in my videos. And we got some socks. I made these little retro designs. And there's a lot of little Easter eggs in this. I mean, you probably can't even see it when it's printed. But there's an iPod, there's an ADB mouse, there's a SCSI cable, there's a Sega Game Gear, floppy disks, all sorts of fun stuff. Designed those myself. You can get them in pants too, if you want pants. Yeah, I just put a bunch of stuff. This is, I want one of these Eep sweaters. I gotta order that. Excuse me. There's no boxes, but there's these. Apparently these are joggers. I thought they were also lounge gear, but apparently like the outside is sort of a non-soft material. I guess like a nylon. I'm not sure. We got a little Eep bottle there. Mugs. These came out very good. The masks, I have one that I was wearing to VCF last time. Very cozy. And yeah, so that's just some stuff. Anyway, you asked about the microscope. I think if you search gear, let's see if that'll come up. Yep, video related links. And so here's the microscope that I use, but I had to get all these add-ons: the ring light, the mount for the and the camera. This thing, so it's like $600-700 when you add it all together. There is a link to an alternative one. You want to make sure you check all this stuff. Some of these links may have changed, etc. But yeah. Yeah, so most of the stuff that I have used in my video, I link there. So there you go. So that answers that question, hopefully. No worries, Adam. You already have one of my shirts. You don't need to. I mean, you don't need another one, but you're good. All right. All right, so let's just clean this up a little bit, and I'm going to take a look at the rest of the board. We might be ready to put some caps on. I think... Oh, no, yeah. There was some nastiness over here. I should have brought my water bottle down, and I did not. And I'm just going to be clearing my throat for the next half hour. Oh, boy. Those are pretty nasty, too. Let's try and clean up this a little bit. I went to the VCF show, and all I got was this lousy Mac84 shirt. And people actually asked me, oh, are you going to sell them at VCF? I was like, no. They were all online. Because if I sold them in person, it wouldn't make much sense to me, because I don't have them printed. It's on demand. They all print it and all that stuff. So it's one of those things where it's more cost effective from my perspective, because I don't have to worry about shipping them out manually or anything. And yeah, the shirts probably cost a little more than if I had them and I shipped them out myself. But if you were going to rely on me to ship out anything, and anybody who's unfortunately had some stuff here sitting here for a while, you'll know that it's one of those things I procrastinate about, and I'm sorry. But yeah, if you were waiting on me to go ship out shirts and stuff like that, that's not going to happen. Oh, look at that. Not in a timely manner. So it's best that it just occurs on a third-party website. They have many sizes in stock, and all I have to do is click a button, and I can make a design. And if nobody likes the design, if it does very poorly, I'm not out a cent. Not like I'm doing a production run or anything like that. That's why I add a lot of stuff. Whatever people like, they could get. And I actually add more solder to this. Eep hoodies, maybe. The hoodies they have, tell me if you're interested. The hoodies they have are not the zip-up ones. They're just like the pullover ones. That's why I did the sweater. Because I don't, and they're pretty expensive too. Also, everything on the store is pretty much at the minimum price. They can make like $1 or something. So I know some of the stuff may seem a little pricier, but I'm really not trying to strike it rich with t-shirts. That's not my goal here. Oh, the more I try and make this solid, the more it's screwing up. But let me, this mask is just not good. I'll have to do. Eep hoodies. I will look into that. Yeah, I don't see. There's people who like the zip up hoodies and people who don't. So it's like, I will certainly put one up there. Do you have a spare Color Classic front bezel laying around? Sadly, I don't, Evan. If I find one, how about this, Evan? Email me at mac84tv@gmail.com. There is a very slim chance that somebody that's getting rid of some crap might have a bezel. Might not be in the best condition, though. But if you just want something, let me know. Mac84tv@gmail.com. Send me an email. And if that occurs, I will reach out to you. Oh, sorry. I have to close this window. It's blocking chats. I can't see. Vic the Victor. Hey, Steve. I'll watch this stream when I'm done with work today. Hope this board has been very naughty. Oh, goodness. Goodness. I think it's the whole front bezel, Bruce, like for a Color Classic, which are not that easy to find, unfortunately, because that was the only form factor of that machine, so not many people have spares, and if they do, it's probably, you know, because the machine was totaled or something like that. But anyway. But a friend of mine has some stuff that's all, I think it's all like not good enough to keep. Well, not good enough to take up space. So I will find out. All right, let's try and fix some of these little things here and there. Hey, Carthor, how's it going? And again, I will be at VCF Midwest in Elmhurst, Illinois, this September for the show. So if anybody is going to be there, please stop by and say hello. It was really great to meet everybody last year. I met Adam in person. I met Ron from Ron's Computer Videos in person. A bunch of other geeks in person. Sage was there. I almost said Sean. Sage was there. Savvy Sage. It was excellent to meet Savvy Sage in person. Canada Computer Clan was there. Brainiac Brent was there. All these fantastic dorky people. So it'll be very cool. If you see me, just say hi. If I'm having lunch, leave me alone. Alright, Mac84 guy's eating his lunch. Better leave him alone. Tom will be there. There is a VCF in Florida. Not Florida, I think it's Georgia, but it's in that area, I think. I don't know if it has the same name, but it's I think it skipped a few years, but it does occur from time to time. You might have just missed the one there, if memory serves, but my memory is totally crap sometimes, so I could just be talking out of my butt. That Mac84 guy, he talked out of his butt. Hard to understand him sometimes, but he does a good recapping. Come on, just a little bit of flux there. Sort this out. Looking a little like crap. No car. Okay, well that doesn't help you then. Yes, it is after midnight. I really should be finishing this up now. So I think we're okay. I'm going to just probe some of the points here. And damn, this Kaiwitz, it doesn't auto shut off pretty quickly. You have to really abuse it for it to do that, which is excellent. For my needs, at least. Alright. Alright, so let's clean this up a little bit. Then we're going to slap some caps on here. And hopefully it'll boot up and be very happy. Now, the analog board certainly will need some work. So I'm betting on that needing its own stream. But I'm pretty confident the logic board will work. Because it worked before, and we've only cleaned it up. So if it doesn't, I will be in for some trouble. Alright, just have to touch that up just a tad there. Right here, you can barely see them. Two little dots that I just want to fix up here. VCFED.org. VCFED.org. Click on their events button, and you'll get all the information you need. Vintage Computer Festival, and I believe it was either the other one that used to be called, I guess, Vintage Computer Federation, but I think they merged. I always get it mixed up. But, yep, they do a number of events around the United States. I know every time I post a video or something like that, I get a swarm of messages saying, oh, I wish you had that in my state or my country. And I'm like, well, I don't exactly control, the people that put on the show. But I'm sure there are many, types of events. I think these are just, they've been around for years. So they're quite popular. They have quite a following, and the more the better. I love these types of things. My wallet doesn't, because I end up buying silly things like Atari printers and things I don't need. But what else is new? Yeah, this one is in Elmhurst, Illinois, so it's in the Chicago area. Federation is the association behind it. Festival is the gathering. Thank you, Electrical Outlet, for explaining that. Yeah, Maya, that's rough. But VCF East is a lovely event. I am very blessed to be very close to that, only about a half hour away. But it is quite the event. If you ever have the chance to make it out there, I would suggest you do. People set up museum pieces, and there's sometimes things to buy and sell. So if you're into this hobby, I think it's one of those events, if you're in the tri-state area or close to it, you really shouldn't miss. But I'm biased because I go there all the time. Okay, or at least have been for 2 shows in a row. Alright, so I think it's time to slap some caps on this thing and pray that it works. Because we saw some nasty stuff by these caps, and hopefully that's the worst it's going to get. Alright, so I'm going to get out my my favorite website here, Reacpping.com. By my good friend Bruce Rain of Brankus Creations. And let's watch this slow website load up on my old Mac here. Oh, nice, Maya. Well, there you go. I think the next event will be next year, so you have some time. But that'd be awesome. Alright, so Reacpping.com, the authority on recapping your Macintosh. So it's by Bruce Rain, Brankus Creations, of course, on the YouTube, famous for having over 30,000 subscribers. So the Macintosh Classic board is fairly simple. You have 8 capacitors, and you have 2 different values. So we have 7 of the 47 microfarad 16 volt, and 1 of the 1 microfarad 50 volt. And there you go. All right. Yeah, some of the Macintosh user groups, the mugs by us, I think closed. But I think now they're more just like tech support. But maybe that was always the case. All right, so I have some caps here. Well, at least I did on the bench before I didn't. I had them on the bench till I did. Int. These are the... Why is there only 2 in here? Maybe that's all that was left. Well, I guess I could use those. Or are these the bigger ones? Yeah, these are the bigger ones. That's why I put them there. Alright, now where are the other ones? Oh, here they are. Did I mix these up? No. Oh, whatever. Alright, so I need 7 of these. Oh, I don't think it's moving from InfoAge anytime soon. VCF swap meet in October. Oh goodness, no, that's bad. Because I'll go there and Tom will throw more printers at me. Oh, that's tempting. I don't think I'll sell there again. Because when I sold stuff there last time, it was fun being there and all, but I missed walking around and seeing the stuff that was there. I was sort of anchored at my table. And to be honest, I didn't get rid of a lot of stuff. I had to haul a lot of it back home. I think I made like $60, $70, which was fine, but I think I sold a few things that I was happy to sell. But just one of those things where it's like, all right, well, I spent more money than I made. That's for sure. I don't have any more printers. Oh boy. Yeah, Mike got an IBM PS2 tower in there. I think it's that model 80. And the guy had like more of them. See, I didn't even know. I was going through a lot. One of our rabbits was in the emergency hospital, and I was sort of on pins and needles the entire time, waiting to hear news. And then, Mike got one of those machines. I didn't know where he got it from, and apparently the guy had like half a dozen of them, and they were only $20. I would have bought one just to have one myself, just to tinker with, because I'm silly like that. But yes, I think next time I will just be a buyer. All right, so we need a 1 microfarad 50 volt capacitor, and I believe I have some of those right here. As I rummage through my parts bin of capacitors. Okay. Those are 1016s. I think it's in the other one. I also bought more caps, but I think that's in another bin. That's not in this yet. But like I said before, this analog board also needs some work because it was doing some weird things. So we will be working on that on a later stream. But let's try and tackle this one first, the logic board, and we'll go back to that at a later date. That's for the power computing one. Here we go. 1 microfarad 50 volt, and these are little tiny capacitors. And I'm going to cut the little ribbon thing here, so I can just throw that out. This makes it a little more difficult to remove them from the package. Dana, it's almost fixed. We're just about to put the caps on. So we'll be wrapping up the stream within 20 minutes, I'd say. So just stay awake, pet your kitty, and we'll all be over real soon. Hopefully. Probably. Now, the analog board will need more work, but at least we'll get done with this. All right, let me just follow up on the chat. Oh, the Weather Star stuff was so cool. Yes, Maya. You also have to meet the people you're giving money to. Plus, you get stickers and cool handouts and stuff like that. And, of course, buying all the crap that's available was always fun. Alrighty. All right. There we go. Exactly, Dana. Thank you for translating Mac84 time from standard time. He said he was going to do this an hour ago. I'm still here. No, I'm wrapping this up quickly because I have to work tomorrow. I'm getting sleepy. The only reason I'm awake now is I took a nap after dinner. And by taking a nap, I mean I turned on something on the TV and woke up like an hour later. Like, huh? What? Who? So someone left a comment recently on my channel asking why I use tantalum capacitors. I said they're what I have on hand, and that's what I prefer using. There's no technical reason why. I mean, generally speaking, I think they last a bit longer. Maybe you don't have to worry about them leaking or anything like that. So to me, they're sort of a safer bet. I actually have not soldered any of like the little electrolytic can capacitors. I have the axial ones and the through-hole ones, but not like the little ones that we removed from this board. And I see a lot of people who are starting out, they'll go with those capacitors first. I don't know if it's just a cost thing or what, but I've always seen that those probably are a little harder to do. Because this, I mean, as long as you get the right size and you have proper tools and magnification, you don't have to have a microscope. You could have some goggles or something like that. But I feel like these are easier to put on, just in my personal preference. Again, I've only removed the other types of capacitors. But seeing how they are affixed to the board, I see a lot of people without, flux or anything try to attempt that, and it's usually more difficult. So, but again, this is just my opinion. This is just what I use. I have these in stock. No one has ever requested that I use other capacitors. Some people do because they want to keep the look of the board original, and I understand that. But I have not had a person request that yet, and I don't know if I would accept that. There's other people that do this type of work. And if someone was really like, oh, you know what, I really want those types of caps, I might be like, yeah, okay. That's probably not what I'm interested in doing, but, if you're going to pay extra for it, maybe, but, yeah. I don't know. I'm used to these. I have not had one explode on me yet. But I usually buy, like, the more expensive caps, the Kemet ones, etc. Someone also commented, is this a recapping stream or is this a chatting stream? I'm like, it's a live stream. You don't want me to interact with the audience and chat. I don't know what you're doing here. Try and keep everyone entertained as I do the same task we do every night. Recapping the world. Narf. Alright, so we have 2 caps to go. Now this one we do have to be a little careful on, but since the leads of this are so far away from the trace in the middle, I'm not too worried about that bridging. But that is something to be aware of. If you are working on a trace that goes under a cap, you probably want to put some UV solder mask on it. I'm pretty confident in my ability, so I'm not going to really worry about that. And this little tiny baby capacitor, whoopsie, come on. Gonna give me some trouble. Ah, come on. See, I moved my tweezers without it cooling. And that should be it. We're all done. Just like that. Oh, wait, yeah, wait, did I? No, I didn't do the 2SI with the electrolytic. That's right, I got the more expensive ones for that. Yes, all recapping streams are chatting streams, if you're doing it right. Sorry, let me catch up with the chat here. Tants equals win. Yes, that's fine. Oh, yeah, I don't know, Tom. I heard that one of the people might not be going, but I don't know if that means everyone's out. But Tamsin is definitely easier. SMD electronics are a pain. Yeah, electrical. That's what I would assume. The thing is, though, they don't make all values and sizes of caps in all varieties. So you might have to use electrolytic, you might have to use polymer, you might have to use tantalum, because sometimes you just can't get the parts you need in a certain value at a certain size. Maybe too wide, too small, too big, etc. But yeah. Use no flux and no rosin core solder. No, thank you. Did that in my youth by mistake. Not making that mistake again. Sorry, just scrolling down here. Yeah, so some caps, there are some cases where you have to use certain polymer caps with a better response time. If you're doing like those spicy o'clock mods and things like that, like some of those, like to really push out as much performance as possible, we're talking about small percentages of performance just to squeak things by, yes, there are reasons to do that, but I don't generally take on those types of mod projects. I just try and repair this stuff. Alrighty, so let's clean this up here, and we'll test it. Now that board I know has issues on the analog board. That machine rather has issues with the analog board, so we probably won't see the best picture, but at least I'm hoping that the sound will be nice and loud, because the sound was very quiet, and that was because of the cap juice around the sound chip. I'm very hopeful that we do not have to replace that, because I do not have a replacement sound chip. And those are some of the parts that are becoming very difficult to find these days, because people are pulling them from old systems, or the whole system just gets, you know, shoved in an e-waste crusher. And there was somebody on one of these Facebook computer groups the other day, and they're like, hey, I'm a recycler, you have 14 days if you want any of this stuff, otherwise I'm crushing it. And people were like replying like, hey, look, you have to understand that a lot of the times these machines are worth more just in parts than they are to like a scrapper. You know, you could probably, if you're patient enough, and most of these people are not, if you're patient enough and you have the right contacts, like a Facebook group or something, and you take good enough photos, a lot of people will not do this. They just want to make their money quick and get on to the next deal or whatever, and they won't care. But if you have the patience for that, you can make much more than you can just for scrap prices, I'm sure. Because a lot of these parts, bezels, screws, card cages, accessories, boards, chips, sockets of things, all these sorts of stuff, you can't get them anymore. Nobody's made them for years. So, anywho. Alright, so let's move this over here. Adam has a replacement chip. Of course he does. Yeah, so it's either people want to just throw it away and get a few dollars of scrap money out of it, or they want $1 billion for it. It's usually a little in between there. All right, so we're going to make some room on the desk here. We're going to put the classic here, and here is the logic board. All pretty and everything. Look at that. Probably not going to focus on it correctly. Come on, you can do it. There we go. That's as good as I think we're going to get. Does the classic have the signatures on the inside of the case? No, it doesn't. Nope, it's not one of those. It's only the 128, the 512, and the Plus do. All right, so we're going to take our classic here. I believe the hard drive still works as well. Oh, we're just going to spin it around. Let me move the camera down a little bit. And we can slide this board in. If I was doing it correctly, that is. Come on. Is that bent? Oh, I see. That just goes on top of it. There we go. I usually test these outside of the board, but I'm pretty confident this'll work, so I'm not gonna bother fishing out my extension cord and such. Alright, so we're gonna snap in the big cable that goes to the analog board. We're gonna plug in the floppy drive here. We're also gonna plug in the SCSI cable for the hard drive. The original hard drive is still in this system. Is that a Lian Lai PC case on your right? This thing is an old Pentium 3 case. I don't know what it is. Oh, all I know is it's old. All right, so everything's in. I think it's time to test this. Let me just get everything situated. Let me get a keyboard and a mouse. The sad Amazon. There's a lot of sad boxes in my basement. every time I have like the recycling of cardboard night in our township. It's like a massacre. So many boxes. So many boxes. I'm not saying it's a bad case. I'm just saying it's a very generic case. All right, we're going to turn our soldering iron off. I'm going to steal the power cable from that. That way I don't accidentally leave my soldering iron on all night. I'm going to plug this in. We're going to turn it. And hopefully this thing will turn right on. Hey, how about that? Nice healthy chime. Hear that hard disk going. Yep, look at that screen. It's a bit sad. You get a head-on view here. Look at that. Yeah, that analog board needs some working. No viruses found, thank goodness. And I have to put the RAM expansion back in. Alright, well that works. And, well, let's go test the sound here. There we go. Yep, excellent. Yeah, so there does need to be some adjustment with the capacitors on this thing. You can sort of see it bowing at the bottom now. You see that? It's widening. It shouldn't do that. So it's very wonky, out of spec. We will get that fixed in another stream. But, all in all, sound is nice and loud. And the machine is in a much better state with those capacitors replaced. So, yay! No, the Classic could do more sounds. It's just that's the system software that was on this machine. That's the only one that it has on there. Just put this keyboard back. I will read the rest of the chat. But yeah, that is a bit wonky. So when the individual sent the picture to me, I'm like, oh, that's going to be an analog board too, isn't it? And I do have the kit for that. It's just going to take a lot of work. So that's going to be something we'll have to do another day because it's almost 1 a.m. here. I have to get to bed at some point. No, Bruce. Exactly. Bruce knows how much I love recapping analog boards. Oh goodness, yes. Narrow Mac is happy. Narrow happy Mac is narrow. Yeah. So hopefully it's just a capacitor issues. I know Bruce was saying that there are some of these little logic chips on the analog board that you have to replace, and I don't have any of those in stock. So if that's still the issue, that could be annoying. I will double check all the joints and everything on the analog board when I redo that, but I'm pretty sure it's a capacitor that is weak, because usually when you get something that is bowing or something like that, especially when the machine warms up and it makes a change, it's usually the capacitor. And these things this is from 1991. It's like, getting up there in age. What, 30, 35 years old? Octocoupler. Thank you very much, Bruce. I would appreciate that. So yeah, these things, those caps are probably not in spec, although the machine I did recap, that 512K Mac, most of those caps read within spec, at least with the multimeter. But even if they're out just a little bit, it could be enough to make it wonky. And that one was not getting anywhere near the right voltage. So, in fact, I'll do that later. I'm going to, when I do the analog board stream, I'm too lazy to even do it now. I'll test the voltages on this thing, just see if they're in spec before we rip out the board. And then when we recap it, we'll see if that changes. But, yeah, that's about it. So anybody has any questions or anything, please leave it in the chat. If not, I'm going to start signing off. But I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. Don't think we had any super chats today, but thank you anybody who subscribes to my channel or supports me on Patreon and all that fun stuff. You wrote I was 11 years old in 91. I thought you said 91 was 11 years ago. I wish. Yes, no, we have to sleep. But yeah, this machine is in beautiful condition, so I'm very happy to restore this for its owner. Very happy that the logic board didn't give us too much of a trouble. Yeah, that sound chip was scaring me there, but it works, so that's great. What's your favorite black and white Mac game? Oh, that's a tough one. Favorite black and white Mac game? Shuffle Puck Cafe, I think I'm going to have to say. Have you seen your Twitter lately? Did you message? You messaged me on there about the laptop, right? I will get back to you. I probably saw the message, just didn't respond. In fact, I know I saw the message, but I don't know if it was on Twitter or email. I will respond to you, Jeremy. No worries. But yeah, that's about it. But thank you everybody for tuning in. I apologize that there have not been any non-live videos as of late. It's just I've been very busy with work and stuff, and this is the only time I had a chance to do this. But those will be returning soon. And yeah, that's about it. I have some new merch. You could check it out at the link in the video description. You could get yourself a t-shirt. I will be adding a hoodie, an hoodie, because Justin suggested that, so I will make that happen. But yeah, that's about it for now. Thank you very much for watching. And oh yes, yeah, check out my VCF East video. There's a bit of Sean playing Shufflepuck Cafe on his Color Classic in super fast mode. That was hilarious. Anyway, good night everyone. Take care. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for all the likes, the love, and the appreciation. And we'll see you next time. Bye.